Hiya, and welcome to Geek Raider, a channel dedicated to Parisian prostitutes and creatures that look like a prolapse after Pride Month. Now in today's video, we're going to be looking back at a game that's more controversial than pineapple on pizza. A game that'll make you pee like a pensioner on a coach trip, and being completely honest with you, a game so intense it gets my nipples looking like football studs. That's right, today folks, we're celebrating 20 years of Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness.
Oh yeah.
Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. The burger to my buns, the sausage to my roll, the pickle on my meat. That sounds wrong. Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness was released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2 and the PC. The game weaved a tale more twisted than finding a skid mark on a hotel towel. It was an awesome buffet of conspiracies, ancient artifacts, and mysterious characters, all mashed together into one big sexy Bouchard baguette. Set primarily in Paris, Angel of Darkness presented a much darker and more complex narrative compared to the previous entries in the series. The game followed the adventures of the iconic and not so pointy-boobed Lara Croft as she uncovered a conspiracy involving the mysterious obscura paintings and the Monstrum, an ancient alchemist whose vocal cords vibrate my bum cheeks harder than a plate of jelly during a 9.0 magnitude earthquake. Now, as we all know, storytelling can be subjective, and what tickles one person's balls might make another's fall off. And that's kind of where Angel of Darkness sits with the fan base. However, I firmly believe that Angel of Darkness has the best story of any Tomb Raider to date. I had the pleasure of meeting the game's writer, Murty Schofield, last year, and his passion for storytelling was evident from the get-go. Even if you're somebody who stopped playing Angel of Darkness because the controls were a little janky, go outside and push some bloody blocks so you feel strong enough to play, because despite being 20 years old, this game's story stands tall amongst many games out there even by today's standards. The game begins with a moody cutscene showing Lara and Sugar Gramps in a heated and slightly sexual debate.
Aye, aye, aye.
Okay, that last part's not entirely true, but the two do get together to have a chat when suddenly things take a turn for the worst. After getting her lights conked out, Lara wakes up to find a lifeless Von Croy and her hands covered in his Heinz tomato soup. So either the soup was rank or Lara's just killed her old mentor, with the latter being what we're made to believe at the start. And that's also exactly what the French authorities believe too. So, now on the run from the Popo, Lara sets out to clear her name and uncover the truth. On her journey, she learns that a mysterious secret society called the Cabal, is also after the paintings, seeking to use them for their own naughty purposes. Hopefully to find a new surgeon, because some of them have faces tighter than a ball bag dipped in ice water. Lara's investigation takes her through various locations across Europe, including Paris, Prague, and what was originally intended Castle Kriegler and also Cappadocia, Turkey, but we can talk about that in another video. Along the way, Lara encounters Curtis Trent, a demon hunter who possesses supernatural abilities, such as the ability to die the second he steps in water. We find out that Curtis is also after the obscura paintings, as he believes they hold the key to his own personal vendetta against the Cabal. And as Lara and Curtis delve deeper into their respective quests, they uncover a hidden race known as the Nephilim, an ancient and powerful breed that once walked the earth. So the Kebab seeks to revive the Cubiculum Nephili and harness their powers to dominate the world. A very scary thought. So Lara and Curtis eventually unite to stop the Kebab from resurrecting the Nephilim, and in a race against time, they use their combined skills and abilities to save the world from the Nephilim's destructive power. In the end, Lara is then vindicated of the murder charges as the truth about Von Croy's death is revealed. She then continues her adventures and they all live happily ever after. Ha! Just kidding. That's not always the case here. I've purposely not mentioned every detail in the story because quite frankly I want you to pick up that bloody controller and discover it for yourself, but you get the general gist. This story is downright awesome.
Do fish have boobs?
And that's not it. Oh no. Tomb Raider the Angel of Darkness also has some of my favourite levels, not just in the classic series, but in the entire bloody franchise. From deep, cavernous tombs with deadly drops, to rooms filled with carnivorous plants and decomposing testicles. AOD has some of the most visually stunning areas of the entire series, although granted, there are some stages in this game where I would rather chew off my own nipples without a general anaesthetic than play them.
What?
Anyway, with that image fresh in your mind, here are 3 noteworthy AOD levels.
Number 1.
Eckhart's Lab. Now, Big E's lab is an absolute banger in terms of visuals, and while there's a lot that could be said about this level, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, bit like an imp dipped in barbecue sauce. Eckhart's Lab can essentially be divided into 2 parts, the first being the lab itself, where you have to collect free files to gain access to the Periapt chart, and the second part being what's commonly referred to as the final battle arena. And although the gameplay isn't massively challenging in this level, what makes it super special to me is what happens after the battle. As the end fight cutscene rolls out, Corel snatches the shard from Lara.
Your thing, snatched.
He then proceeds to stab Eckhart, who until this point we had been made to believe he worked for. Turns out that actually Corel was the real evil mastermind, and not only that, he is one of the last remaining Nephilim.
What?
I must have seen this cutscene more times than a politician changes their stance, but I still remember the very first time I watched this and just being mind blown at what I'd just uncovered. Eckhart's Lab is a level where I always find myself getting goosebumps, as not only is it a fantastically designed level, and the ending is also one of my favourites in the entire series, but it's also the last time we ever get to see classic Lara. Or is it? I guess only time will tell with that one. Another noteworthy level that we have here is Bio Research Facility, and boy is this level
Sexy.
After learning about Lara's hypothetical collection of coconuts and inhaling a huge fart cloud, we are free to explore the many surreal experiments of Dr. Grant Muller, a doctor who quite frankly needs to buy a bigger shirt.
No.
Dr. Grant Muller is also a member of the Kebab who's in charge of the botanical research at the Strahov. And for anyone that's played this game, it's probably no surprise that the Bio Research Facility is on this short list. Throughout the level you encounter human-eating plants, evil mutant hybrids and other various baddies along the way, all the while trying to figure out how to make your way through that plant-based madhouse. And what I particularly like about this level is how unexpected it is. I mean, the previous level is spent exploring gloomy hallways and storage containers, so imagine the surprise when you walk through an unsuspecting factory door to be introduced to this absolute beauty. And lastly, we have the Hall of Seasons. La 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 la. The Marilyn Monroe of all the classic Tomb Raider levels, Hall of Seasons is beautiful. The aim of this level is simple: collect 4 elemental crystals and use them to activate the Furnace of Death. And that's not even a joke. I mean, literally, this furnace was designed to kill, and you will die. Many, 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 many deaths at the hands of it. Once the furnace is up and killing, you're able to make your way up the hall to collect the obscura painting that you oh so desire. To obtain the crystals, you need to complete 4 challenge rooms: Sanctuary of the Fart, Wrath of the Yeast, Neptune's Balls, and the Meth of Hades. And what I really like about this is the fact that you can play these levels in pretty much any order you like in order to collect the crystals, which for me really adds replay value to this level. There's also a fantastically designed basement from hell underneath the hall, which is always fun to run around. I mean, quite frankly, Hall of Seasons for me is the epitome of excellent level design, especially from Core Design. Each room is so intricately designed and there is so much replayability, if that's even a word. But I suppose it is a little bit bittersweet for me at times because the boss at the end, well...
What a fucking liberty.
If I were to describe the Angel of Darkness in one sentence, I would say it's like a soap opera on steroids. It delves into themes of ancient mythology, supernatural powers, and blurs the lines between good and evil to an incredible level. And although the game may have received some mixed reviews upon its release, it remains an incredibly important part of the Tomb Raider franchise's history. Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness is a roller coaster ride of insane storytelling, beautiful levels, and awesome characters. It has a story that will have you tied to your seats tighter than a... I don't know, I've run out of metaphors at this point. But what I will say is, when the hell are we going to get a Janice spin-off? That poor woman's been smoking the same bloody cigarette for the past 20 years. Well, you can't blame her though. I gave up smoking once. It was the worst 2 hours of my life. And probably explains why I sound like Bernard. Go away, I'm busy! And just like that, this video comes to an end. I'd like to thank you, yeah, you know, the one sitting down with your cup of tea right now with a couple of biscuits looking at the screen, yeah, I'm talking to you. Thank you for joining me in this video as we celebrate 20 years of Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. I'd absolutely love to know your favourite parts of the game in the comments, and feel free to subscribe, or hey, don't, it's no skin off my nips. So thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Peace!